Hey everybody, it's Matt from Akuma Mods. Today we have a new resin printer to unbox, set up, and just kind of go over and see how it is. We'll do an actual in-depth review of it afterwards, but just for right now we're going to do an unboxing and initial impressions. This is a Longer Orange 30, so this is the big brother of the Longer Orange 10 that everybody knows and loves. This currently is retailing for $3.99 on Amazon.com. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright. Sorry, we're kind of in a wonky space. Trying to set up everything. Alright. So, first up we have our, looks like, instruction manual to set everything up. We have our full solution provider. So, this is basically a thank you letter with all the information on Longer and how to get in contact with them for anything that you guys need. Possibly some extra FEP film, I would guess. No name on it, but it feels a little flimsy, so that's my guess. And I think I am correct. So it looks like they give you one extra FEP film. That's nice to have. A lot of companies are starting to do that with their 3D printers. Let's set that off to the side. Get that up off of here. It comes with, looks like 2 large strainers. These are actually nice strainers. These are made by 3M. They did not cheap on that, so that's kind of cool. I'm going to take the taker tap off. Alright, so first off the bat, we have a bottle of Longer resin. Let's see if we got a color on there. Standard. Light brown. So I think this is the standard that comes with them. This is a 250 gram bottle. So put that off to the side here. We have our USB stick, some Allen keys, gloves, maybe a wipe, and some other things. We'll open that in a second. Ooh. This is nice that they include it. This is a really nice scraper. I have one of these, and I absolutely love it. You just got to be careful with it because you don't want to damage your build plate when you get the stuff off. But this is a nice addition for sure. Throw that out. What else is down here? Not the greatest of 3D printed. Well, 2 of them are good. 2 of them are definitely bad. I'm guessing this is for the case, because it looks like this is a put-together acrylic case, just like the Longer Orange 10. Let's see. Our power brick, we will undo here. I already have a power cord set up. Let's plug that bad boy in so we get that ready to rock and roll when we need it. Put our knife away. Power cord. This is a very interesting packing. Ugh, my worst enemy. I hate peeling this stuff off because I don't have fingernails. So, but yeah, just your typical put together. We'll see how well that goes. I've seen plenty of videos where it's just a fun time trying to get that out of there. So the build plate is definitely kind of in there. Looks like it's to be the similar size to this Hiya. So, and that's it for that one. Another piece of packing. And then we have our entire printer here. This is a kind of heavy printer. Alright, there's that. Make sure there's nothing else in here. Okay, so we are all good on that front. We can toss the box out. See ya! Okay, now we can get down into it. Okay, so it looks like they greased up the bearing a little bit. It's not the greatest. There's kind of grease all over that, so we'll probably end up cleaning that up a little bit. That film is stuck to the bottom there. We have our USB reader in the back, as well as our power switch, as most of these resin printers are. So let's get to building the enclosure, which is my absolute favorite part. Actually, you know what? Let's hold off on that. Let's see what other goodies they gave us in this bag. Oh, there's the, that's why I wanted to open this, because I was told about these little rubber bands are here to help you put it together. So again, we have a USB stick. These are usually 16 gig. So let's see what this one says. It doesn't even say. Usually these are 16 gig, but we'll see. I'm not exactly sure why we have cards in here. I have no idea. I'll have to look into this and figure out why there's these specific cards. So we have an ace, 2, and 3 of spades, and a queen and king of hearts. No idea. Not a clue. Looks like some like cheesecloth. It looks like almost, or some sort of cleaning cloth, or filtering cloth maybe. Gloves. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. Just so we have it. For a second there, I thought I smelled resin all over. That would have been bad. Alright. So yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty much your standard Allen keys that come with most of the printers that I see nowadays. Let's see if I can try and peel all this stuff back. This is my least favorite part of doing this. So let's see if we can get some helping hands. It's always nice to have something that can get this stuff off, because I absolutely hate this. And to be, in all honesty, for the price point that this is at, it should really already have a pre-made enclosure like this. Because it's getting up there with like the Elegumars, the Anycubic. Well, it's actually past the Elegumars and the regular Photon. It's actually up there price ranged towards like the G-Tech DP200 and the Anycubic Photon S, and yeah. This is pretty much going to be most of my videos taking this stuff off. I betcha. Alright, we got one side of one plate off. Let's get the other side. My absolute apologies for the boring video. And unfortunately, I don't have the software yet to properly cut up videos. I don't have a computer set up that will do that. So I just kind of do these videos in one take. So if we do a mess up, well, then the mess up stays. So. That's just kind of how it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles. I'm sure I'm going to fingerprint this all the hell. So if longer you're watching, I'll be honest, this I can see this for your longer orange 10. I can see that as a DIY. But when it comes to the longer orange 30, I definitely suggest just upgrading and getting a full built enclosure, because at that price point it should really have one. You shouldn't have to do this because again, you know, I sound like a broken record. At that price point, you're getting into the higher end printers for resin. Well, not super high, but still budget, but higher printers that are more take out of the box and start to use. So that's definitely a big difference between them. So, and their price range is not much different than your guys' longer 30. This is the worst. Again, my apologies. I should have kind of planned this earlier and just kind of put it through there as if it came already done. I just told you guys, hey, I had to set this up and this took forever. Two done. Then the fun part. Oh god, there's 5 pieces. Disregard that comment. Of course there's 5 pieces. There's 4 sides and a top. Da 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 da. I'm done making it pretty. We'll just deal with it once we get it all off. This reminds me of the good old days of putting together an A-net kit with all the plexiglass and everything that's in those things. Oh man. 9 hours, of which an hour was spent doing this exact thing. Like I said, most of the video is going to be me doing this. It's going to be sad. I'm sorry, I'll stop talking here. So. Probably sound like a broken record. Alright, 3 out of 5. I'm killing my nail. It's for the greater good. So, if anybody has any questions, probably one of the main ones that's going to be asked is, do I suggest this printer? Yes and no. This is a royal pain to have this. Sounds like one of the printers are done. Then to top it all off, we gotta assemble it. Needless to say, I was definitely not expecting to do this. I'm just curious to know how much more in manufacturing costs. Does it take to put one of these things together? I mean, you guys package everything else pretty good. I just don't see why you can't do this little tiny thing. And here I am whining about this little tiny thing, but as I said, price range, I really shouldn't be doing this for $3.99. Seems to work better if I rip it in half. Moment of truth, we got one more. We're in the home stretch, guys. I'll be honest, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Could have been a hell of a lot worse. Alrighty. Now the fun part. Getting all the pieces to fit together. Let's see if we can be daredevilish and get this all together in one shot without any extra help. You think we can manage that? We shall see. Oh God. This is already proving to be a disaster. Worst video ever of a resin printer build. Alright, let's see if we can get some more left. Let's put that over there. Put this there. Alright, so we need to get at least 3 of these hooked up. There we go. We'll use my desk to get this to stack up. Nope, still not working. Let's stop this. Let's pause here for a second. Where's these 3D printed parts? I'm hoping that's what these are for. Let's read the instructions. Yep, they're braces. Ha. So here I am struggling with it and being dumb. Hey, it happens to the best of us.
So if these kits come with these nowadays, then this is not all that bad, but still, for the price, you shouldn't have to do this at all. Because you have to get them in a certain way. It's annoying. It really is. There's absolutely no need for this. We'll put that on after. So let's get that up. And like I said, some of these are printed very, very nicely, at least the first layer. Actually, they're kind of so-so. And then there's two that are they're all right. And then there's two that are just, oh my God. Like, that's the worst first layer I've ever seen. Somebody was a little too close. Basically. Alright, finally we got it together. It's still kind of a pain even with those helpers. And this is just a disaster too. Because look at what I just did. God. Somebody just shoot me now with this. I was like all excited to get this. And yes, Longer reached out to me to test this out, to see what I thought of it. And right now, my biggest complaint is this part right here. Because, like I said, at this price point, you shouldn't have to do that. There's one that's broke. Alright, let's go for number 2. At this point, I'm about ready to bust out my soldering iron and just fuse all these together. Number 2 broke. Just batting 1,000. Where's number 3? It's never a dull moment in my life. my God, we got it. Sort of. Worst case ever. So I'm supposed to have one rubber band on top and one rubber band on the bottom. But the problem is both of them broke. And I don't have any extras. They only gave me 3. How you do that? See, are we going to break this one too? If I can get this like more center, then we might have better luck keeping it all together. All right, people. I don't have any extra rubber bands. Worst design ever. So you know what? We're gonna make do with what we have. So right now I'm heating up my soldering iron, and we're gonna weld it together, much like I did with this Hiea. You guys might be able to see it. There's like a round piece on the back there. So when I received this, it had an issue where there was a piece of acrylic that was broken on it, and so I just welded it together with a soldering iron. And we're going to do the same with this, because I'm not going to deal with that. And unfortunately, I don't have... I mean, I got the Enclosure, which I can see about putting that on there. Let's see if the Enclosure fits on that. It sort of fits. I guess we could use that for the time being. So, thanks, Enclosure, for coming to the rescue, I guess. Sort of. Not really, but you get the point. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna set this off to the side, and we're gonna deal with this later on, because I'd like to get to printing and see if it's all up and running. Hopefully, you guys can see my printer here. So let's go ahead and put that off to the side. We'll turn that off. We'll do that later after the video. Just want to make sure you guys are still here. Okay, so let's power this bad boy up. And we'll see what we can do with it. One thing that's definitely different than all the other 3D printers I have, the power connector is angled. It's not a straight, which I kind of like that. So let's go to settings. We'll go to move, because we need to move this up. Looks like we got a lead screw wobble. Maybe not. maybe it was just me. I don't know. So either way, we're going to plug in the USB. If I know how to do this, I would be dangerous. It's a great video I'm making here, isn't it? Alright, let's go ahead and lift this boy up. And we'll put that back down. And now we are going to do some leveling. Wrong size. So there's different ways you guys can do leveling. You can do the paper method, you can do the vat method. I'm going to just do the old school vat method. And what that is basically I'm just going to put this down into the vat, zero it out, and we'll go from there. Make sure these are loose enough to where they're good. Alright, so we're going to put that all the way up, and then we're going to zero it out. Make sure that there is no model below the build plate or in the resin tank. There is not. Now, one thing I will point out is this build plate is quite unique compared to all the other ones that I have. Like the Enclosure is probably one of the nicer build plates. It's got like bevels on the edge here to drip off. This one actually goes down on an angle, or you can have it facing forward if you want to change it around. But right now it's facing downward. So when this lifts up, all of your resin should automatically go to the back. So that's kind of nice that they have that set up for you. So now we're leveled out, and we're going to go ahead and just press this all down. Make sure that we are good and level on each end. Okay. And then we're going to go and tighten up this bad boy. Tighten up a little bit on that. So usually I do back fourth, and then I'll tighten out the other ones. So. And just like all the other resin printers that I've done video reviews on, I guarantee if I start a print and their test print, it's going to come out as an epic failure. No idea why, I just can't get the first print to go. I have no idea. So, either way, let's go ahead and move this back up. So we have 1, 10, and 50 that we can move it up. That's nice. The software doesn't limit that. I don't... Oh no, there is a stopper. Okay. I was going to say, I didn't see a stopper for the height. So I was just a little curious about that. I'm just going to take this off to see what type of... that we have. So these are metal screws. This is metal. Looks like this is not the perfect one. I don't know if that's resin or just a mark or whatever. So again, with this one, it looks like it might have a smaller screen. It might be 5-inch, but the way that they put it on there is a little different. It's much like the Hyea. The Hyea doesn't have like a cutout like the Enclosure or the Anycubic Photon or the G-Tech DP200, where it actually has the bezel around it. They just use the tape to go around it. So this probably has the same type of LCD that the Hyea does. And the other cool thing is, I'm pretty sure that this it might fit. I'm not sure, but that would be cool if it fits, because then that means I can swap out backs with different colors.
because the Hiea is a little different. That's what this printer is. It has screw posts coming up, and you lock it down by screwing these type of screw heads on it. So,
okay. So, let's go ahead and get this open. We'll put a glove on for all intensive safety purposes. And we'll put our other glove on, again, for all intensive safety purposes. So, I will say that most of the resins that I've worked with, I don't have an issue with it contacting my skin, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. I'm not going to tell you not to use gloves, because it's always good to have them, because your hands do smell after using it. So we're going to go ahead and use the little cup that came from the Elegoo Mars. Seems like we're grabbing a lot of parts from the Elegoo Mars on this thing. What's nice about this is it fills up to 100 milliliters. That's a good amount for pretty much any print that you're going to be doing. So we're going to go ahead and fill that up. So even though this says that it is light brown, it looks more skin tone than light brown. Almost like a peach color. In fact, that's really what it looks like, peach. So we're going to go ahead and put that in here. And I think this is just regular stuff, it's not water. Yeah, this is just standard photopolymer resin for an LCD, 405 newton meters, 250 grams. Yeah, so just your standard resin. Nothing like G-Tech that came with water washable resin. We'll let that all collect in the bottom there. We'll put it off to the end. I'm not even going to put the cover on because, well, this shouldn't be too bad. And I have an air purifier right behind me, so it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so let's go back. We're going to go to File, and let's do Star Wars Skull. We're going to do bracket because I want to see, I think that's a bracket for this. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can print that. I don't know what that is, but it looks really crazy. So it says that it's going to take 1 hour and 33 minutes. We're going to press and play. Make sure that there is no model below the build plate or in the resin tanks. So that's kind of nice that it gives you that pre-warning, even though you should know better. It's always better to be safe than sorry, I guess. So basically, we're going to let this print a little bit, and then we're going to see how it came out, and then go from there. So hopefully it's got the same type of features like the other printers do, where if you pause it, it should raise up and we can see how the print is doing, because that's really the muy importante parts of the printer. That's basically like the heart, the brain, everything. So we got an hour and 32 minutes to go. We're at 26 degrees. Now this is a lot nicer than some of the printers I've dealt with because it gives you a rundown of all the information that you need, such as your ETA, then also your print time, so you can see if it actually matches up to what it says it's going to do. Like this says it's going to be an hour and 32 minutes, and we're already starting our clock off at it's 1 minute and 35 seconds in. We're starting on layer 1 of 404. Our temperature is currently 30 degrees, and we are printing, obviously. This is really, really long exposure time for this, this print. I will say that. It'll be interesting to see what this mount is. So one thing I can pretty much tell already is that the I forget the name of it, but basically the in-between exposures, or curing time, whatever you want to call it, is definitely set way too close. The G-Tech had that right out of the box. I'm sure with the resin that it has, it can do it, but you don't want to keep those settings because not all resins are created equal. So obviously, if I threw some any cubic photon stuff in there, and I go and I have it lift and then come back down, it's not going to have enough time to let that resin drain underneath the build plate. So you're either going to get half of a print or not even a print, or who knows. So, but yeah, this is going to take a little while to do this. It seems like the exposure time is quite long for this. No pun intended, it being a longer. So, with that being said, guys, I'm just going to give my thoughts on this. We're going to end the video, and I'll come back around with another video of, you know, some prints that I've done on this, and my full thought on this entire build. So, as of right now, first initial impressions, it's a really nice printer. It's a really beefy, solid printer. It is all metal. Excuse me. What's nice is it does come with a 250 milliliter bottle of resin. So that's always nice to have, because there are some printers out there that don't even have a bottle of resin. And that's really an unfortunate downside to them, because, well, you want to get a printer and you want to be able to print right away. But, I mean, on the flip side, you also have FDM printers that most of them don't come with filament, or they come out with a little bit of filament if they do, not even enough to do a model. So, I mean, that's kind of give or take. But yeah, so far, build quality, it looks kind of okay. It's not the greatest. For the price, it being $3.99, my biggest problem that I have with it is the enclosure part. That is a royal pain to get that together with one person, and then on top of it, the rubber bands that they supplied, every single one of them snapped. Now, obviously, that's probably user error, because I don't know what I'm doing with that sense. I'm used to something like this where it's already put together. But still, the fact that I broke 3 of them pretty easily says a lot. I mean, I know they have to have some sort of elasticity, but it's a good possibility that those were made for the longer orange 10 and not the 30. So, so they're a little bit tighter, I guess. So maybe that's just me. I do like the interface that this uses. It gives you a pretty clear description and readout of everything that's going on with the printer. So I really, really dig that about the interface that's on it. You know, the build volume's not too bad. It's maybe a little bit smaller than the Elegoo, maybe. I know the build plate is definitely smaller than the Elegoo, but the Z height is almost there, if not right on. Unfortunately, I did not grab the specs because, you know, I do these kind of on the fly, these videos, so my apology for that. I'll try and put all the information below that everybody needs, but my entire thought on this so far for the price point of $3.99 is it's okay. You're almost there to an Anycubic Photon S or an Epax 1, or you know, you could have at the time, who knows, when the Elegoo Mars Pro comes out, you know, that might be roughly ranged around the $300-400 range. So you have that as well. You have the G-Tech DP200, which is about $100 more, but last I checked, it was on sale and had a coupon code on Amazon for $70 off. So that brought it right to this price point exactly, $3.99, because it was like $470, I think, originally, or $469. So in terms of that, you know, is it a good price to build to what it has? I'd say if this was more along the price range of maybe $300, $350 at the very max, you got yourself a pretty good printer. At the $400 price range, or $399, what it's currently at, which what I purchased it for, this is my biggest problem. This put together really, really cheap, like low grade cover. Like, I'm saying like too much, but that's my biggest gripe about this entire setup right here, is this alone. If you're someone who's fine printing without it, then by all means go ahead and print without it. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh my god, resin fumes and this and that. If you got a good air filtration system, you can have all your printers open. Okay, it doesn't matter. So I have an air filtration system in between two of my printers. So for every two printers, I have an mini air filtration system with a HEPA filter and a carbon activated filter on that as well. So, and those filter out pretty much everything that I need filtered on the bad gas or resin smell side. So, and to be in all honesty, this is not giving off any really bad fumes right now. Obviously, I know it's giving off bad fumes, and I really shouldn't be, you know, like breathing it in or anything like that. You know, I'm not going to be huffing this, obviously, but with my air filtration system right there, it should be picking it up perfectly fine. So, so yeah, in all, is it a good buy? I don't really think so, to be in all truthful. If it was, like I said, priced around $300, $350, then it'd be an okay buy. I wouldn't even say that it would be a good buy. If they fixed this or made this easier to assemble or just put together somehow, then okay, we can talk that price point of $399, which is what it's currently at right now. So, but anything really above that, it's not it's not really worth it. Above 350 in my opinion. 300 is my absolute max. And the only reason why I'm saying like 350 because it does come with a bottle of resin. And even though it's a 250 gram, that's 15 bucks roughly, depending on where you're getting it from. So there are some give and takes. I will have to look into what this is all about and ask them and see what's going on, because this is just really weird to have a small deck of cards, 5 cards to be exact. Not really sure what the deal is with that. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments below. Who knows? With that being said, I hope you guys liked the video, even though it was a absolute travesty putting this together and wasting probably 15 minutes, if not more, just trying to get that all together and then realizing that I'm dumb and I should have used that from the get-go. And then breaking the rubber band. So, anyway, I hope to see you guys around. If you guys like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these videos, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because I got a lot more coming. I got 2 more printers to unbox, and I actually have 3 printers to do testing on and setups and what have you. So, stay tuned to it, because we're going to get more and more into resin printing and how to slice files and work with other slicers and supports and all kinds of stuff that's related to resin printing. So if you guys like that stuff, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That would be absolutely awesome if we can get up there to 1,000 subscribers, because then I can do live videos on my phone, which is what I'm doing this on right now. That would be totally awesome to do that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until then, happy printing.